Hi everybody, my name is Joy Griffin. I'm a professor and an entrepreneur reacting to Shark Tank videos. And in today's video, we're going to meet a founding team that uses what I call a zigzag strategy. And that means that they go into a large market that is potentially growing, they niche down and do something different than the market incumbents are doing to be able to take some of that market share. Let's go ahead and look at Coffee Meets Bagel. It's a B2C app and it's around dating. Let's take a look at what they've come up with.
And we're the Kang sisters from San Francisco, California. The three of us were born and raised in Korea, and when we were teenagers, we immigrated to America. I went to Stanford Business School, and I went to Harvard Business School, and I went to Parsons School of Design. Our dad sacrificed so much to send three of us to school in the US.
This story really resonates with me because I have so many international students, and some of you may be watching. So a big shout out to you and your families coming to America to get a great education and then go out post-graduation and do great things in the world. Coming from Korea, and they went to terrific schools. So let's see what they've come up with.
One day at lunch, we were discussing a common problem and came up with a solution in the tech space that could really work.
So a lot of people believe that entrepreneurship is ideation, that you come up with this terrific idea in the shower that's going to change the world. And that's just not how I teach. I teach a lean startup method, and it saves money and time by validating the problem and validating the solution to be able to get a product market fit faster. So instead of just coming up with an idea and launching it, you actually go talk to people. You validate your solution and you validate your problem. So you may talk to 100 people to see, do they have this same problem, and learning things. Like, you sort of don't know what you don't know. And so you start to iteratively change your solution and your problem statement as you build the business. I'll go ahead and link a video that a founder did a great job at this because it is so important, and so many entrepreneurs miss this step. Let's see what these girls did to build their business after they ideated their problem statement.
We quit our high-paid job and moved to San Francisco, and we just started our own business.
I don't recommend quitting your job, moving to San Francisco. Now, there are those very glamorous stories of founders that have done that, but it is far more normal for people to start their business on the side. So what I recommend to my students and anyone out there that is listening, that if you already have a full-time job or a part-time job, keep that job, and it can pay your salary and hopefully your benefits, and then work on your spare time, whether it's weekends or evenings. And it's a grind. It's a bit of a commitment, but you will be able to build up that company over time, and your revenue and profits should grow as well. When your profits reach the same level as your salary, then you can decide whether or not you want to quit your job and move full-time over to your job, or if you want to keep both and kind of burn the candle at both ends, so to speak. That's a much safer, low-risk way to be able to start your business.
Hello, my name is Arun, Daun, and Sue. Today, we're raising $500,000 in exchange for 5% equity in our company.
That's a $10 million valuation. It's fine. Lots of software-based companies can have that type of valuation, but what we want to see with those companies is that there's some sort of competitive moat and perhaps even revenue, that they have traction and they're able to make a profit. So let's see how they came up with that number, because it's a pretty big number. Let's see how they're doing it.
Coffee Meets Bagel is here to profoundly change how people discover and fall in love. Sharks, I know what you're thinking. It's another dating site. We all know online dating sucks. Why? Because it treats people as a piece of information you search for from a huge database.
So two things. First, they talked about it being another dating site. There are a lot of dating sites out there, and I think about maybe Match or Hinge or all the places that you sort of swipe right, I guess. It's not my wheelhouse, but my friends tell me that it is hard. And so their problem statement as it relates is that online dating sucks. And so they are going to solve that problem. I think that that sounds like a good problem to solve. Let's see how they're going to do it.
To time of happenstance, or you just stumble upon someone special, maybe through a friend. That's why we created Coffee Meets Bagel. We took the proven concept of daily flash sale sites and merged it with social networking elements to create the highest quality dating service for singles.
Flash sales, okay, and dating. I'm wondering if that solves that problem, if there is a clear connection between the problem and the solution. Let's see what they came up with.
Every day at noon, we curate one perfect match who is a friend of a friend. You have 24 hours to review their profile information and choose to like or pass on the match. Mutual like leads to a private chat line that expires in 7 days.
They're doing a couple of things here. They're curating more high quality connections, only one a day. So there's that feeling of scarcity. Maybe that's what they were talking about with a flash sale. Like if I don't act on this, it's going to go away forever. And so that could be clever. I still wonder if that solves the problem that we identified, that online dating sucks.
The secret to success in online dating is winning over women. Single women are tired of signing up for dating websites only to get hit on by creepy strangers bombarding them with disgusting messages. And that is why women love Coffee Meets Bagel.
So now we're identifying that the online dating process sucks for women in particular. So we're niching down even more, and we're looking at women's experience in online dating. So their service, I guess because it's one at a time, will give women a better opportunity to make that curated match. I'm still wondering if that solves that problem. Maybe they're still going to get creepy messages, or maybe you're just going to have somebody who uses a lot of different online services and maybe they still feel like a commodity. I don't know. Let's watch.
Since our national launch, we've been growing at double digits monthly. So sharks, who's going to be our perfect match?
Tell us about your business model.
Our core service is free, but there's premium features that you can unlock using virtual currency in the form of coffee beans.
A freemium business model is typical. It's also challenging because it is notoriously hard to get someone to put in their credit card in a B2C app. And knowing that consumers are so price sensitive, I have to tell you that 97% of apps are just not profitable. So the key to that is really holding back strategic value so that you are not giving away too much, but you're giving away enough that they'll come and try your product. I'm actually seeing things like a free trial working a little bit better right now in the app space, because if you are really solving their problem, they're going to be willing to pay for it. So maybe with a free trial, then they'll put down their credit card. Let's keep watching.
One of the most popular items we have is called Open Sesame. We actually tell you how many mutual friends you have between you and your match, but we don't tell you who they are. It's a mystery. A lot of people want to know, how am I connected to this person?
And how much do I pay for the coffee beans?
Interesting. Their key differentiator is that maybe we know people in common. Obviously, this would work really well in a large, densely populated city. But when you start to get into rural areas where maybe the population isn't as large, people actually all know each other anyway. And so does this solve the problem that online dating sucks? That's where we want to marry the problem statement and the solution together. Let's keep watching.
Each bean is equivalent to about 2 cents, but Open Sesame, for example, it's 95 beans.
And how do you curate?
We require all users to sign up through Facebook, so instantly from day one, we can learn a lot about the user, including their friends.
So the benefit, obviously, is that you can sign up quickly, but the question is your Facebook persona and your Facebook friends really indicative of what you're looking for in a relationship? That's a big question mark for me, but let's keep watching.
How many users?
So right now, we have several 100,000 users. Our business really ramped up.
Is it 200,000 or is 700,000?
So it's between 1 and 5.
One in
Well,
five.
just tell us what it is.
You want an investment, you can't not tell us.
That's weird. I have to say that when you're looking for an investment and you're valuing your company at $10 million and users, are obviously critical. Your revenue matters a lot too. I don't think we've heard what they're doing in terms of revenue yet, but users is critical. Not only do we need to have a large number of users, but we also have to have a demographic breakdown. I think we need to look at all of those aspects of the user base as well. So that is not really a good idea for her to give a range, especially a range so low. It hurts her credibility and it starts to make you question whether this founder is not only capable, but open to sharing information and telling the truth.
Yes, but I think that's a good range. It gives you a good idea.
No, it doesn't.
No, but why won't you give us the actual number?
We're actually not sharing the exact user number right now for
Okay,
competitive.
I'm out.
Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me that people would be out because if you're asking for an investment, you have to provide that kind of information. So that was a big misstep by this founder.
What were your sales?
So last year we made $87,000, but get this year in the first 5 months we made $270,000.
Wow.
So it's growing very
What do you
quickly.
forecast for this calendar year all in?
At this current rate, we'll make $1 million.
Chris?
And
$1 million is a lot. And so first 5 months, almost $300,000. We're expecting, I suppose, a faster growth through the end of the year. Those are good revenues. So I'm actually starting to feel maybe a little bit more confident.
next year we aim to make $10 million.
All right, the $1 million in sales, what will you?
I would like to know how they are going to grow so fast. Like, what is the change? What is the trajectory that is going to cause that to take off so fast? And also, how much money are they making? So what is their profit? Let's keep watching.
You make? What's your profit?
So right now our profit is negative because we had to spend a lot of money, mostly on salaries, to pay our developers.
And do you guys take a salary today?
Right now we take $100,000 salary
Each?
Sorry, you take 100.
So $300,000 you're drawing out of the business, right?
a year.
That is not a good idea. We talked earlier about keeping your job so that you don't have to burden your business with your salary to be able to live. So what they're saying here is that they would use the investors' money to pay for their salary. And that is not a good use of funds. We like to see, typically investors would like to see 70% to 90%, frankly, of the investment going toward customer acquisition. Because if we can get customers, then we can get toward profitability. And we're thinking to ourselves, why do we have to pay all these salaries to other people? We can bring on co-founders, we can bring on independent contractors to be able to fill some of the gaps that the founders themselves can't do. But that is a lot of money it's a lot of pressure on the business. Let's keep watching.
On the $1 million, how much will you lose this year?
We'll lose $1 million.
You'll lose $1 million on $1 million in sales this year.
Yes, which is why we actually have to raise more money because we're trying to ramp up our growth.
So the big question is, how much profit are you going to make when you get to $10 million? Because this is starting to feel like a very heavy outgo, and we're going to need to become profitable quickly. Now, I do want to say that it used to be different, and it wasn't that long ago that investors, money was relatively cheap compared to now, and they were willing to invest money, but now it's really critical that you have a path to profitability. And so my question would be, where is your path to profitability? Let's see what happens next.
You're projecting $10 million for the second year.
Exactly.
How much money will you make on that $10 million?
We will break even on $10 million.
You'll break even on
Let her go, let her go, let her go.
10 million, and here's why. We plan to bring on about 4 million users next year, who's going to generate about $2.50 each, hence the 10 million,
And what's your customer acquisition cost?
30 cents. Next year, we plan on spending about $3 to $4 million on marketing spending and acquire 4 million users.
It's the mindset that worries me here. This founder is willing to put out $4 million, 3 or 4 million, to get 4 million users. And so I'm just thinking about my students, and they're able to grow millions of users with such a small fraction of that amount of money that they've won at a grant competition. I'm thinking of one of my students, Sandul from Legion Platforms, that has successfully won all kinds of grant competitions and has been able to grow over 10 million, almost 20 million users for pennies. And so it can be done, but you have to have the mindset that you're going to create a product that creates so much value that your users are going to tell their other friends, and that it's going to grow organically to some degree. Spending $4 million for advertising to get 4 million users, it's just a little rich for my appetite. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but it's very risky to put that money forward in the hopes, fingers crossed, that you wind up breaking even. It's pretty risky. Let's keep watching.
So you're an all or nothing play
Why do you think we're all nothing?
because you're losing so much money. You're not really in the building a business game. You're in the raising money and getting users game. I think you've got to hit a home run. It's risky. I'm out.
It is our decision to invest more now so we can accelerate growth, but we can just as well just grow this business as
That's the
is.
fascinating dilemma, because I hear where you're coming from. The baseline model works. You want to pour gasoline on that fire.
Exactly.
It's a pretty big bet. And what
And think about this. If they had just kept their jobs, built this on the side, gotten to profitability so that they don't have the burden of all of the salaries, they could have used AI to code a lot of it, and they could be earning profits quickly. And this could be a business model or can generate lots of profitability and success. It's just such a risk from an investment standpoint to give up that kind of money. Let's see what happens next.
I wouldn't do this. I'm out.
You're not making money, and you're each drawing $100,000. That's $300,000 out of the business. That seems very high salary. I mean, most people don't make anywhere near that. Big concern I have also is the fact that somebody else could do this. People are knocking off everybody on the internet all the time. So for that reason, I'm out.
What's your competitive moat? So if you are asking for a valuation of $10 million, you have to have some sort of competitive moat. And in fact, even though they've had Match.com founder invest in, I'm guessing, a small way in their business, there's no reason that Match couldn't do this themselves.
I think one thing for sure is you're great at raising money.
Thank
I
you.
also think this is a site that's needed. I think the women I know that have been on the typical website feel like a piece of meat in a meat locker. But I'll tell you what I don't like. The break even at 10 million, that's spooky. Doesn't seem like enough upside for the enormous risk I'd be taking. So for those reasons, I'm out.
Let me ask you a question. If I offered you $30 million for the company, would you take it?
Just note that Mark Cuban did not offer $30 million for the company. He said, if I were to offer you, would you take it? That's a test, and he's trying to see maybe the commitment of the founders, what their mindset is. It'll be interesting. I guess if they say yes, then it would look like they're not committed to the business. And I guess if they say no, it may actually impact them negatively because their valuation, current valuation, is 10 million, and they're not profitable, and they're not going to be for a long time. So $30 million would be actually a pretty good deal right now. So let's see what they say.
No, I will not be taking it because we see this business growing as big as Match.com. And you know how much revenue they're generating? 800 million a year. They're becoming $1 billion revenue company, and we think this model and the product has potential.
That's the most confidence that I've had in this founder since the start of this episode. So seeing her commitment, she's looking at the size of the market and the opportunity, and she's showing her passion for really building this business. So 2 thumbs up for that. Let's keep watching and see if maybe Mark does offer them a deal.
But I don't know how protectable that is. Well, I give you total credit, and I think you guys have done some brilliant things. I don't think the risk reward is there for me, and for those reasons, I'm still out.
So they walk off without a deal, and that's okay because they can just keep building, and it sounds like they're good at raising money anyway. But that is probably a pretty low score from my standpoint, mainly because even though the team was really capable, the business model really isn't working, and I still wonder about the product market fit. I wonder if that is truly solving that pain point enough that people are going to be willing to put down their hard-earned money every month to get one match a day. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like, make a comment. Let me know what you think about this video because it helps build our community. Bye for now. Take care of yourself.